Hello, my name is Annie Capel and today we're going to talk about mood stealers. These are psychic children who are actually removing the sadness of people that they are talking to, and over time as the sadness is being times. It could be over the next 10 minutes, half an hour, could be partway through the day, and these children are becoming extremely naughty, very violent, totally going ballistic, and there's no real medical reason for it. Nobody seems to understand why, other than these children are just going right off. Now, a lot of people are labelling them as medically as ADD, hyperactive, a.d.d.h. There's a lot of labels for them, but they're extremely naughty, totally uncontrollable, and people are not really stopping and having a good look as to what's really going on. Today we are in a situation of where most people are living in extremely large cities, and our children are mixing in amongst a large population of energy. Psychic children who are running into a situation where they are collecting up other people's sadness and are unable to get rid of the sadness of themselves, and this is being timed. And the timesing of these moods, what's actually going on is these moods are becoming very negative and very dangerous until it gets to the point where the child has no control and goes ballistic. If you're finding that your child is becoming an absolute nightmare, real serious bad moods, you more than likely have a very powerful psychic child who is unable to get rid of all of the sadness that they've collected up from other people. Now, I was very fortunate as a small child that my parents actually knew me. A lot of children today don't have that luxury because it's now society has become a two-income family, so both parents are actually out working, and the children are being left in facilities like creches or preschool, and so they're becoming more noticed than ever before. The more people they interact with, the worse the child becomes, because the moods they're collecting they're unable to actually get rid of, and they run into what we call overload. Now, these are the tools that was used on me as a small child, in order for me, to actually help myself learn how to get rid of the sadness. Now, these props are very important that you do use this technique, so that in the full extent of it, so that your child benefits and so do you and everybody else in the community. Now, Mum used to sit me down at one end of the table with my Milo and my cake, and she used to sit down the other end of the table with her coffee and cake. Now, she used to make me list all of the people I spoke to throughout the day. In doing this, what actually happens is I would name every single person I spoke to, and eventually I would come across the name that belonged to the mood, the bad mood, and it would actually go away. Now, you wouldn't think that the bad mood would just disappear like that the moment I named the person, but it did. My mum would even say to me, because she knew I could see psychically, she would even say to me, Annie, that mood is not even your colour. And she'd make me have a look at it, and I'd be like, ooh, that is really quite a real bad mood there, really scary. And she would make me look at the colour of the mood to make me more determined to get rid of it. Now, we used to find that with me being such a powerful psychic that I would collect up a lot of people's sadness, and it would be times by the time I got home. I was lucky that it was times by the time I got home, and I would only go ballistic when I got home. Everybody would call me the Hell Cat, and when I was being called the Hell Cat, everybody knew that I was very violent, very dangerous, and we would have to go through this process of sitting me down at one end of the table with my Milo and cake, and Mum at the other end of the table with her coffee and cake, and list off all the people I spoke to throughout the whole day. Now, this technique does work, and the bad moods do shift off. If you find that in using this technique on your child that it doesn't seem to be working, perhaps your child needs their auric field cleaned and cleared and some healing done on them. If you feel that your child requires this, then visit my website. It is www.myabird.com, and go down to the bottom of the page where you'll see mood stealers, and follow the instructions that are there, okay? And they will be of benefit and help, and I will be able to shift off all the sadness of your child, so that you're actually able to start from ground zero and be able to work your way through them with this technique, so that they in turn can help themselves. It's very important that you train your child to help themselves shift off the sadness, these bad moods that they are collecting, because being power psychics, there's no 101 book out there that tells them how to fix or be trained in sorting out certain psychic problems, and this is quite a serious problem that needs to be dealt with. You use these tools and techniques and you will find that your child will improve. You will have the child that you know that you honestly have, and they're a real good, well balanced, happy child. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.